Fantastic Negrito's Have You Lost Your Mind Yet? It is a pretty interestingly sized album from an interestingly sounding artist. It's 11 songs long, 38 minutes long. And he has sort of like a soul funk sort of sound that he's generally sort of done. A pretty decently done discography too. I think spanning past at least the early 2010s. But Have You Lost Your Mind Yet? It's a pretty like decent way to jump into his album. I felt like with this project, I've heard a little bit of him before, but this is like probably the first or second time I've really paid a lot of attention to him. After more listens, it's one of those where you listen to the album more and gets better.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's not like my cup of tea usually, this style of music, but I did enjoy it. Like Chocolate Samurai was a good opening track within it. The big thing with the album to me is that there's a lot of different features on it, so there's a lot of different sounds and different things that go on, because you have a lot of soul in it, you have a lot of like funk that goes into it, you have a little bit of hip hop that goes into it as well, and then there's some experimentation. You have songs, I believe it was like These Are My Friends are all up in my space. I can't remember which one that like throws electronic twist into some of his music. So there's a lot of stuff going on in that, but I like that because to me, I thought when I first listened to this song, I'm like, okay, I don't want it to be just stagnant into that one thing, but I like that all the features and stuff on that had their own little says into it, but it kept it cohesive in a regard. So it's interesting, actually. I want to listen to it a little bit more and try to get into it. I think I listened to it twice through because the first listen I had no idea what I was getting into, and I was like, okay, I got to make sure I want to listen to it again because it was first listen's more absorbing it a lot because it's quite eclectic, at least for my taste. And then the second time, I'm like, okay, I can get into this a little bit more. There's some stuff that is solid in here.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I didn't mention this in the Chiesa review, but I did the reverse Sean way of listening to things.
You shuffled first and then
shuffled first by accident. That's always like never what I intend to do.
Okay.
But I shuffled first by accident, and I had the experience of like, oh well, this is meh. I gotta try to listen to it in order now and see if it's any better. And I had my opinions on that we heard earlier. But this one I heard through kind of all the way through twice, and I had a markedly different experience my first time listening to it than my second time listening to it.
For sure.
My first time, it was very much like, yeah, you are maybe at most critical trying to follow this difficult to follow thing that's going a lot of different places. But of the albums that do push these boundaries in a lot of way while still trying to stay in a pretty classical soul and funk kind of ethos, it does it pretty well. Like, there's no point where I'm like, I hate how this sounds.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's a little bit like funky and weird and doesn't fit in a lot of like settings per se, but it's not
and
at all bad.
And it doesn't feel dated at all.
That's very true.
That was my big worry when I the first opening song, Chocolate Samurai. I'm like, okay, you can do this a couple of different ways. You can make it like expand upon the sound and try different things, which I really haven't heard before, if anyone does it, or you can just make it like a throwback 70s, 80s album. But it was the latter because he experimented a lot on it, and it was very good in that regard. So I like it.
Yeah,
it's very different.
I found those. Yeah, there are a couple songs in the middle with features. There was Searching for Captain
Like
Saberho
with E40,
which
yeah.
Is
I saw E40, I'm like, that's super random, but okay.
E40's still chopping it up out there a little bit.
I haven't heard E40 in a minute, so.
And then there's Your Sex is Overrated with Masa Kohama. I think the style of the song is pretty good, but there are some times where I think Fantastic Negrito's lyrics almost get into that like realm of music where you're so kind of on the nose with the message that it's like, at least for me, where I like a little bit of abstraction in the song that could even be about the exact same thing. It seems like, oh, the message is very much clear and like right here. It happens certain times like through like the Justice in America like interlude, and I think there's like a little interlude in the beginning too. But yeah, there are some like definitely really rad songs in here. I think the second song on here, I'm So Happy I Cry, is also just like a really fun like ballad sort of thing. And it gives the beginning of the album, like it gives you that buy-in where you feel, okay, I'm fine a little bit.
You can hop in it, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's overall not bad. I'm gonna give this an Al Gore.
You're gonna give it Al Gore?
Yeah.
I was thinking Al Gore. Let's see, who do I want to give this to?
I have another good one if you like want to phone a friend.
No, I've got it. This is Hubert Humphrey.
Hubert Humphrey?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
From LBJ.
Lord Jesus, yeah. Senator Hubert Humphrey.
Yep.
His big claim to fame? I totally don't remember anything about him.
I don't remember.
You're just like pointing just like that. It sounds like a good one.
Oh yeah, because I like doing administrations during in the 60s and 70s because shit goes down. All those administrations.
Yes, soul and funk also, I guess, in those administrations.
This is also not Spiro, whoever Nixon's vice president was. I think Spiro or something like that. Because they were like purposefully trying to get rid of that shit and the USPS.
Yeah, Spiro Agnew.
Spiro Agnew. There we go. Yep.
Oh Lord, there's some people.
Henry Kissinger and Spiro Agnew were in that White House.
There's sometimes when you have names where it's just like, why do you have power? Why are we letting you have power? That's the problem. We should not.